Let's come to the next topic, that is action of metals and metal oxides with water. Now come to the first, action of metals on water. So any metal we can use. In your book there is given one activity. Now you can see this activity. In this activity series, this is called metal activity series. In the metal activity series, all the metals are given, but there is one exception. The hydrogen is not a metal, it is a non-metal. So now let's see the the elements or the metals which are present above the hydrogen. These are reactive metals, and the metals which are present below the hydrogen, these are less reactive metals. So here, what is the function of these metals? This is the sodium, this is the sodium, this is the potassium. These are the most reactive metal, so they have capability to replace the following metals. Means sodium can replace the calcium, but calcium cannot replace the sodium because sodium is most reactive than the calcium. In the same way, iron can displace the tin, but tin cannot displace the iron because in the metal active series, the elements or the metal which is present above the following element or metal, that is more reactive. In the same way, in the next, under the hydrogen there is a presence of metal, but these metals are less reactive, so they do not react with the water, like copper, mercury, gold, silver. This is silver and this one is gold. So these metals cannot react with the water. Now come to the first topic under it, that is the action of sodium and potassium. Potassium and sodium on water. So potassium and sodium are the most active metals. So they are soft and they are quickly affected by the moisture of the air. So they can be preserved in a kerosene. So what we can do with these metals? So take these metals. So sodium is a soft metal. You can take it and you can cut it with the help of knife and dry it with the help of filter paper and again dropped into the trough of water. So what will happen in that case? So the metal generally soon. So which metal we are using? The sodium metal. When we drop it into the trough of water, so this sodium metal will not sink and this will float on the darts around on the surface. So what will happen with this? The hissing sound, the pop sound will also produces by it, and the yellow golden sparks flies. This is the observation, because when we will add sodium with water, that gives alkaline sodium hydroxide NaOH, and the hydrogen gas is releasing from this. How we can say that only hydrogen gas is releasing? Because it creates pop sound. So hydrogen burn with the pop sound and the yellow spark are produced by the small particles of sodium. So sodium imparts a yellow color to the flame. Now next one is potassium. Potassium when react with the water, again it will get alkaline solution, that is KOH, and again the hydrogen gas will be released. So here the potassium imparts the violet color to the flame. Potassium gives here violet color, and in the previous case sodium gives yellow sparks. So the resulting solution will become alkaline. So the alkaline turns red litmus blue. So what is the important property of alkaline? When alkaline solution is put on the red litmus paper, the red litmus paper converts into blue in color. Alkaline means base. Now the third one is action of calcium on water. Means how calcium react with the water. So when calcium is heavier than the water and a piece of metal sinks in it, so here again the hydrogen gas starts evaporating means that is releasing, but slows down and the calcium hydroxide is again formed. So calcium react with water, it again forms CaOH2, that is calcium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is releasing. So calcium hydroxide is also known as slaked lime. So it is much less soluble than the sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Now next one is the action of magnesium on water. Magnesium on water. Again, magnesium is less active than the calcium. So magnesium can displace the hydrogen from water at low temperature, at the room temperature. So magnesium, when react with the water, it gives magnesium oxide and hydrogen gas. So when magnesium powder is mixed with the water, the evolution of hydrogen starts slowly and stop soon, because magnesium oxide forming coating over the metal particles. Now next one is, so it also formed the magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is, now come to the next activity. It's given in your book. Magnesium continues to burn and steam. In this case, take some water in a conical flask and continue boiling and introduce a small piece of magnesium ribbon into the mouth of the conical flask. For example, we have a conical flask, and in the conical flask there is water, and provide heat to the water, so it will start boil. So when the water start boiling, it gives water vapors, and then introduce a burning piece of magnesium ribbon. Magnesium ribbon means the part of the magnesium metal, piece of the magnesium metal. The ribbon continues to burn in steam, and in air magnesium burns with dazzling white flame. So this is main important thing. In the air, magnesium burns with dazzling white flame. But when magnesium burns with steam, it gives orange flame. So this difference you have to learn. Magnesium when burns in air, that gives dazzling white flame, but when it burns in steam, it gives orange flame, because of the presence of the hydrogen gas. Because hydrogen gas is releasing through the process of magnesium when react with the water. Now next is the action of iron on water. So when iron reacts with the water, it gives triiron tetraoxide. Triiron means 3 molecules of iron and 4 molecules of oxygen, that becomes tetraoxide, and hydrogen gas will be releases from it. Iron is present in the metal activity series. Now students, see the figure 8.10 in your book. So here the water is boiling in the flask by providing the heat, and that water changes into the water vapor, and that moves into the delivery tube, and that delivery tube is attached to the tube which is fitted on both sides with the help of cork. So what will happen? This steam means water. When this water react with iron, so what will happen? Triiron tetraoxide is formed, and the hydrogen gas is releasing from this reaction. So it means iron is, when react with water, that form black triiron tetraoxide. So iron is much, it is less active than the magnesium. Why it is less active than the magnesium? Because it is present below the magnesium. In the metal activity series you can see, it is given in your book. In the metal activity series, the hydrogen is present below the magnesium and below the iron, but iron is present below the magnesium. So which will be the most reactive? Magnesium will be the more reactive as compared to the iron, but iron is also reactive as compared to the hydrogen. So it means iron can replace the hydrogen. So that is why it is formed triiron tetraoxide and hydrogen gas is releasing. Now next is the action of water on metal oxide. Metal oxide mean, for example, we have metal zinc. So when we will add oxygen, it will become zinc oxide. So this is metal oxide. When any metal react with oxygen, that form its metallic oxide. So when potassium oxide react with water, it forms KOH, potassium hydroxide. And next is calcium oxide. When react with water, again it will form calcium hydroxide. So these hydroxides are alkalis. Alkalis means these hydroxides are basic in nature, bases. So in this way, at last I'd like to say that before learning this topic, you have to learn the full metal activity series. If you will learn the full metal activity series, then you will understand which metal can replace to which metal. Means which is most reactive, which is less reactive. In this way, it will be more clear to you when you will learn the full metal activity series from the book. It is given on page number, I think, 85, under the topic action of metals and metal oxide on water.